Hello and welcome to Savor the Flavor Cooking with Oils and Vinegars. This is Natalie Tall, Grayson County Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences. This is the November 2020 lesson for the Lincoln Trail Area Extension Homemakers. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I hate that I'm not able to be with you guys in person. But hopefully this video, if you are able to meet in person, this video will be helpful for you as you, share this lesson with your homemaker members. So like I said, we are talking about cooking with oils and vinegars. So we will talk about the following things: health benefits of using oils and vinegars, selecting the best option for you and your family. We'll talk about 5 common oils used in the kitchen and how to select the best kind. The healthiest option, if you will, and then 3 common flavored vinegars used in the kitchen. And then we're going to talk about actually putting oils and vinegars together towards the end of our lesson. So, using oils and vinegars, what are some of the benefits? Well, to be honest, there's minimal calories involved and loads of flavor. Oils are known for their anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial properties. However, knowing what types of oils to use for different dishes can be a little bit confusing, so hopefully we'll clear up some of that confusion today. And then vinegars, of course, are easy to use in store, plus they're the perfect addition to your everyday cooking, and they add lots and lots of flavors with very, very few calories. So you can get a lot of variety of flavors when you're using oils and vinegars. So first we're going to talk about the selection of oils. You want to choose an oil based on health benefits. So what you want to look at are the levels of unsaturated versus saturated fat in an oil. Oils with higher unsaturated fat levels, and they may be listed as monounsaturated or polyunsaturated fats, will provide more overall health benefits than oils with higher levels of saturated fat. So you will actually look on your nutrition facts label to determine how much saturated versus unsaturated fat is in an oil. So there is also an easy way to determine saturated versus unsaturated fats. Saturated fat is actually solid at room temperature, and unsaturated fat is liquid at room temperature. So think about that in our bodies and how it might settle in our arteries and such. So that's just kind of a little fun fact for you to be able to determine quickly saturated versus unsaturated fats, but you still need to look at the nutrition facts label to determine which is highest, which oil has the highest unsaturated fat content, because that's going to be the healthier oil to choose. So choosing oils that are higher in the mono and polyunsaturated fats can help reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, insulin sensitivity, cholesterol levels, and inflammation, and more. So we'll review olive oil, canola oil, vegetable and peanut oil, and coconut oil today. And at the end of the day, what you want to remember with oils is that they're still fats and they still have calories. So they also have a recommended intake each day, about 5 to 7 teaspoons, which is not a lot. However, there are healthier options to choose from, as you will soon see. So now we're going to move on to vinegars and selection of vinegars. The tangy taste of vinegar comes from acetic acid. Vinegars are really easy to use in store, which we talked about earlier. They add lots and lots of flavor with very few calories, and a little bit goes a long way when it comes to vinegars. Today we're going to talk about balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, and then apple cider vinegar and their uses in the kitchen. So first we're going to review the 5 common kitchen oils and go into a little more detail about each one. So olive oil is the first one up. It's often used in place of margarine or butter and is rich in the good monounsaturated fats, or the good fats, if you will. Olive oil often has a robust flavor, and if you're wanting something that is a little bit lighter of a flavor, or if you want a little bit more of a stronger flavor, you want to go with virgin and extra virgin olive oils, because that means that they undergo minimal processing. Therefore, they'll have the strongest flavor if you're looking for that. So if you're wanting a lighter flavor, you can actually purchase light flavored olive oil, or just get regular olive oil, and it's not going to have as strong of a flavor. They are a pricier oil, and if they're used in cooking, they should be used at a low temperature. All oils have what we call a smoke point, and that is the temperature at which an oil starts to smoke and therefore will burn. So olive oil, like I said, has a very low smoke point. So you want to make sure that you're cooking with low temperatures. It's not great for frying with higher temps. Okay. It's best when used in salad dressings, as drizzlings on salad or on foods, using it in marinades, or adding at the end of food prep for a burst of flavor. So those are your best uses for olive oil. Um, if you're going to cook at higher temperatures, regular olive oil is a better choice, but still it's not great for frying. So moving on to canola oil. It's a common cooking oil that's lower in saturated fat and has a very light flavor. So it's really good to use in like your baking and things like that, where you don't want an off flavor coming from that, because this has a lighter flavor. It's not as healthy if you're looking at that perspective as olive oil. Olive oil is going to provide the most health benefits, but it's still a really good choice if you're trying to lower the saturated fat in your diet. Canola oil does have a higher smoke point than olive oil, which means you can use it for higher temperature cooking in the kitchen. Moving on to vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is actually a combination of several different plant-based oils, and because of this, the amount of unsaturated fat, in vegetable oils can vary. So you want to make sure if you're purchasing vegetable oil that you're looking at the labels and you're really, really comparing the health benefits of each of those types of vegetable oils. It's very similar to canola oil in that it can be used in higher temperature cooking and has a mild flavor. Both canola and vegetable oils don't have as many healthy fats as olive oil, but again, are still an excellent choice when you're trying to reduce the amount of saturated fat in your diet. Peanut oil, on the other hand, peanut oil is great for high heat cooking. It is liquid at room temperature. However, it still has quite a bit of the unhealthy fats, some of the saturated fats included in that. It's typically used in restaurants for stir frying, deep frying, or pan frying. It's not commonly used in baking because of unwanted flavors that may be produced. And again, it's not the best option if you're trying to increase healthy fats in the diet. Lastly, we're going to talk about coconut oil. Coconut oil is a byproduct of mature coconuts with a sweet, slightly nutty taste, adding a tropical flavor to foods. It should actually be called coconut fat because it is actually solid at room temperature. It has a very low melting point, though. So that means about 78 degrees Fahrenheit is whenever coconut oil or coconut fat starts to melt. There are many uses in the kitchen, and it can be used in place of butter or shortening in most baking recipes. However, keep in mind that coconut oil is more than 80% saturated fat. It's much higher than lard or butter and provides 121 calories per tablespoon. So keep that in mind. Like any saturated fat, coconut oil should be used only occasionally and in small amounts. It may be more beneficial in the area of cosmetics, such as improving skin and hair, alleviating dry skin, or serving as a lip balm. So it's used in lots of cosmetics in that aspect. So there are benefits, but maybe not so much health benefits used in the kitchen. And notice I didn't say not to use coconut oil. You just want to make sure that you are aware of the amount of saturated fats used in or the amount of saturated fat that coconut oil contains, and that it actually is a fat, and it contains more calories, like we said, or more saturated fat than lard or butter. So you may be better off to use those unless you just like the flavor, in which case go for it. So next up are vinegars. So we're going to talk about 3 common kitchen vinegars. First up is balsamic vinegar, my personal favorite. There are 3 different grades of balsamic vinegar. You have traditional, commercial, and condiment. Traditional is aged for at least 12 years and comes from only 2 regions in Italy, fun fact, and is quite expensive. So you may want to stick with the condiment and commercial grade. They're not as high quality, but they're much more affordable and very suitable for general use. as an ingredient. Most often, balsamic vinegar is used as flavoring in salad dressings, on vegetables and meats. Balsamic gives a woodsy, sweet, and tart flavor, and it pairs well with chicken, pork, and quite a few fruits if you're wanting to use it in that aspect. Red wine vinegar is next on the list. As the name implies, red wine vinegars starts as red wine. They're pricier vinegar and made from finer wines. Pricier vinegar is made from finer wines aged for longer periods of time. So again, kind of like with the balsamic vinegar, if you choose the lower quality or lower end, you're still going to get the same health benefits. You're still going to get the same amount of flavor. So as far as that goes, I look for the cheaper option whenever whenever I'm shopping for different types of vinegars. Red wine vinegar has a very tart flavor, and it's best paired with heartier foods like beef or pork. They're good for vegetables too, but it can also be used for salad dressings. Lastly, and probably the most popular of the vinegars we're talking about, is apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is a product of fermentation when sugars from apples are broken down by bacteria and yeast. It has a tangy taste with a slight apple flavor. Um, Apple cider vinegar provides lots and lots of taste with very, very little product, very, very little vinegar. It's great for dressings, for marinades, sauces, soups, hot drinks, etc. It's become recently popular as a health supplement with weight loss claims. However, there have been no human studies that have shown this to be true. And ingesting plain or straight vinegar actually can damage tooth enamel and irritate the throat and stomach. There's also apple cider vinegar is available in supplement form, but there still are no studies to support their weight loss claims. So it is best used to add robust flavor to foods and beverages. Lastly, and probably my most favorite part of this lesson, is discussing oils and vinegars together. So there are many ways to combine oils and vinegars with some extra ingredients to make unique, flavorful salad dressings and marinades that keep for a pretty good while when stored properly in the refrigerator. So whether you're looking to make creamy dressings or simple vinaigrettes, all dressings have 5 basic ingredients, all right? So if you remember nothing from this lesson, please remember these 5 basic ingredients for any type of dressing or salad dressing or marinade that you may want to use in the future. Those 5 ingredients are oil, acid, something sweet, something salty, and something aromatic. So I'm just going to run through each of those just briefly. So oil is, you want to use a neutral tasting oil such as olive oil, or an alternative such as canola or safflower oil. Remember, you still want to check the saturated versus unsaturated fats in each of the oils that you might choose. And again, for the most health benefits, remember to choose the ones with higher unsaturated fats. The oil to acid ratio for most dressings is 3 to 1. So 3 parts oil to 1 part acid. But you can adjust that to your liking. That's not a hard and fast rule. That's just a suggestion. If you're looking for more creamy dressings, so you may want to, instead of using oil, you may want to try to use mayonnaise, milk, buttermilk, or Greek yogurt as your base. Again, still comparing the saturated versus unsaturated fat in each of those to determine what is best based on the health benefits that you're looking for. Acids, again, your go-to acids are your vinegars, as we discussed earlier, with the addition of white wine vinegar and any other vinegar that you may be interested in. You may also choose to sub all or some of the vinegar with lemon or lime juice, especially if the salad that you're making or that you're eating has any type of citrus fruit in it. So that can be added to or replace, those can be added to or replace the vinegars. Something sweet, so you want to counter the bitterness of whatever acid you decide to use. So you want to add a little something sweet. So you might add white sugar is fine, just a little bit. Add a little bit at a time until you get it to the taste to what you like. You may also want to use honey, maple syrup, apple juice, frozen juice concentrates are good, or even jam or jelly. You can also use sugar substitutes if you have diabetes and you're wanting to watch your sugar intake or your carbohydrate intake. Just remember that sugar substitutes are a lot sweeter than actual sugar, so you might actually need less to sweeten your dressing. All right, adding something a little salty. A generous pinch of salt is often enough. If you're watching your sodium intake, though, you can skip this step. It's not something that has to be added to a dressing. And I often leave salt out, or I just use very little of it just because that's my personal preference. Aromatics, what we're talking about, aromatics, we not only taste with our mouth and our taste buds. Smell plays a huge role in what and how we taste foods. And adding some minced or fresh dried herbs, adding some minced, fresh, or dried herbs, shallots, citrus rinds or zest, black pepper, garlic, etc. for flavor and variety. You might want to try those. Other popular herbs include basil, thyme, tarragon, cilantro, mint, parsley, and dill, and the list does not stop there. Don't limit yourself. Experiment with your favorites to try to make up unique, again, dressings or marinades. You can store your dressings in airtight containers. Canning jars with lids and rings are really, really good option for best results to ensure your dressing lasts. You want to store it in the refrigerator, and you may need to stir or shake to recombine the ingredients before using, because the acid and the oil may separate a little bit. And don't forget that your dressings can double as marinades for meats, or can even be used to braise vegetables in the oven to add a kick of flavor. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys for watching along with me. I know that this is not an ideal situation, but I hope that you guys enjoy it. And of course, you can go back and rewatch it. You can read over your notes and your handouts that you received from your county agent. And hopefully you were provided with some plated up Kentucky Proud recipe cards that use oils and vinegars to create dressings and marinades that you can try out at home. And again, don't limit yourself. Just remember those 5 basic ingredients and create something that is unique to you and your family and your taste preferences. Don't forget to fill out the evaluation. There is a paper copy that should have been in your packet that you should have gotten from the extension office and or from your president if you guys are meeting in person. So please fill those out and make sure to get those back to your county extension office so they can get them back to me and I can do an evaluation. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at the Grayson County Extension Office. Again, this is Natalie Tall with the Grayson County FCS Extension Program. You can reach me at 270-259-3492 or natalie.tall, TAUL at uky.edu. I hope you guys have a great November.